My mom secretly tried to sabotage my marriage because she didn't want to be alone. Growing up in a quiet cul-de-sac in Charlotte, North Carolina, it was always just mom and me after dad died in a trucking accident on I-85 when I was 8. Sudden, brutal, the kind of loss that turns a house into a museum of grief. With his recliner still angled toward the TV nobody watched anymore, and his coffee mug forever half full on the counter because mom couldn't bear to wash it. She leaned on me hard, calling me her little man, her rock, pulling me into long hugs that lasted too long even as I hit high school, making me promise I'd never leave her the way dad did. And I'd nod, feeling guilty for wanting the normal teenage things, like sleepovers or dating without her crying in the next room about how quiet the house would be. I met Lauren junior year at UNC Charlotte. She was pre-med, sharp-witted, with this laugh that cut through Carolina humidity like sunshine. And for the first time, I felt like I could breathe outside mom's orbit. We graduated, moved into a tiny apartment in Noda, got engaged under the string lights at Camp North End in 2023, planning a small backyard wedding at Lauren's parents' place in Asheville because mom kept insisting big weddings were wasteful and stressful. The red flags I'd ignored for years started waving harder. Mom's endless complaints about Lauren being too independent, her accidental comments during Sunday dinners about how Lauren's residency schedule would pull her away from family, the way she'd tear up whenever I mentioned moving farther than a 30-minute drive. But nothing prepared me for the spring of 2024. 3 months before the wedding, when Lauren came home from work, pale as the hospital walls she trained in, holding her phone like it was radioactive. She'd gotten an anonymous email with screenshots of 30 old Facebook messages I'd sent to a high school ex back in 2014. Messages I'd forgotten even existed, plus a doctored photo making it look like I was kissing that same girl at a college party. Easy Photoshop, but convincing enough to gut punch. The email came from a burner account. Subject line, "Before you say I do," and ended with, "You'll never change. Save yourself." Lauren was shattered, questioning everything, and I was furious, swearing I'd been faithful since the day we met, begging her to believe me while my mind raced trying to figure out who hated us this much. It took weeks of fights, couples counseling paid for out of our wedding fund, and me hiring a sketchy but effective IT guy in Raleigh who traced the IP address straight to mom's Spectrum account at her house in Charlotte, the same Wi-Fi I'd set up for her years ago. When I confronted her, driving down I-85 with knots in my stomach, she broke down almost immediately in her living room, surrounded by framed photos of just the two of us. No dad, no Lauren. "I didn't want to lose you," she sobbed, clutching my hands. "You're all I have left. Once you get married, you'll have your own family, your own holidays, and I'll be alone in this house with nothing but ghosts." She admitted to digging through my old social media, paying some kid on Reddit $50 to edit the photo, sending the email because a little doubt might make you postpone. Give us more time. Alone. That word hung in the air like Carolina summer heat, thick and suffocating. I walked out shaking, told her she wasn't invited to the wedding, went no contact for months while Lauren and I rebuilt trust, brick by fragile brick. We still got married that August, smaller ceremony, mountain air, crisp and forgiving, Lauren radiant in a simple lace dress, and I felt free for the first time in decades. Mom sends birthday cards now, unsigned therapy apologies forwarded by my aunt, but the damage runs deep. Trust shattered twice, once by her betrayal and again by how long I let her neediness define me. I love her from a distance, send money when her social security falls short, but boundaries are ironclad now because I learned the hardest way that love shouldn't feel like drowning, and protecting your future sometimes means letting go of the anchor trying to pull you under. If you're reading this and your parent clings a little too tight, listen to that quiet voice asking why, because sabotage dressed as love can still sink the whole ship.